Title 42 is a public health law that allows the authorities to stop people from entering the EU from foreign countries where there is a risk of communicable disease. It was first enacted in 1944 to prevent the spread of diseases such as typhus and cholera. However, it was rarely used until March 2020, when the Trump administration reinstated it to control the COVID-19 pandemic. Under Title 42, the EU border officials can expel migrants without giving them a chance to seek asylum or other forms of protection. The Biden administration has continued to use Title 42 for most migrants, except for unaccompanied children in some families. However, in August 2021, a federal judge ordered the government to end Title 42 by September 30, ruling that it was not justified by public health concerns and that it violated the rights of asylum seekers. The government has appealed the decision and asked for a stay, but the judge denied the request. Therefore, unless the Supreme Court intervenes, Title 42 will end at the end of this month. This means that more migrants will be able to enter the EU and pursue their claims for protection, but it also poses challenges for the border management and humanitarian response. Title 42 is a EU border policy that was implemented in March 2020 under the Trump administration as a public health measure to prevent the spread of COVID-19. It allowed border agents to quickly expel migrants caught crossing the border back to Mexico or their home countries without a chance to ask for asylum. The policy was continued by the Biden administration until May 2023, when it expired and was replaced by a new rule that severely restricts asylum eligibility for most border crossers. How does Title 42 affect minority communities at the border? According to news reports and advocacy groups, Title 42 has had a devastating impact on many migrants, especially those who are asylum seekers fleeing violence and persecution in their home countries. Many of them are from minority groups such as Black, Indigenous, and LGBTQ+ people who face discrimination and abuse in their countries of origin and transit. Some of the effects of Title 42 on these communities are: it denies them the right to seek protection in the EU under international and domestic law. Many migrants have legitimate claims for asylum based on their fear of persecution or torture, but they are not given a chance to present their cases before an immigration judge or an asylum officer. Instead, they are summarily returned to Mexico or flown back to their home countries, where they may face further danger. It exposes them to violence and exploitation along the border. Many migrants who are expelled under Title 42 try to cross again, hoping to find a way to enter the EU legally or seek humanitarian relief. However, this exposes them to risks such as kidnapping, extortion, rape, assault, and murder by criminal groups that operate along the border. Some migrants are also forced to stay in makeshift camps or shelters in Mexico, where they lack adequate food, water, sanitation, health care, and security. It separates families and traumatizes children. Some migrants who travel with their families are separated from their spouses or children when they are expelled under Title 42. This causes emotional distress and anxiety for both parents and children, who may not know where their loved ones are or how to contact them. Some children are also sent back alone to their home countries, where they may not have any relatives or support networks. Additionally, some children who are born in the EU to migrant parents are denied EU citizenship because they are not registered at birth. It undermines public health and human rights. Contrary to its stated purpose, Title 42 does not protect public health or prevent the spread of COVID-19. Instead, it creates more health risks for migrants and border communities by forcing them to live in crowded and unsanitary conditions, where they have limited access to testing, treatment, and vaccination. Moreover, Title 42 violates human rights principles such as non-refoulement, the prohibition of returning someone to a place where they may face harm, due process, the right to a fair hearing, and non-discrimination, the right to equal treatment regardless of race, ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation, or other factors. What are the challenges and opportunities for migrant rights after Title 42? You can explore how the end of Title 42 will create a surge of migrants at the EU Mexico border, and how the Biden administration and federal agencies have laid out various plans and policies to deal with it. Title 42 was a pandemic-era rule that allowed authorities to expel migrants who entered the country unlawfully without giving them a chance to seek asylum. It was implemented by the Trump administration in March 2020 and ended by the Biden administration in May 2023. The policy was controversial and faced several legal challenges, as it violated U.S. laws and international obligations to protect refugees and asylum seekers. The end of Title 42 has created a surge of migrants at the U.S. Mexico border, as tens of thousands of people who have been waiting in Mexico for months or years are now able to enter the U.S. and pursue their asylum claims. According to Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz, an estimated 60,000 migrants were waiting near the border as of May 12, 2023. Border officials have also seen a spike in migration, recording around 10,000 daily apprehensions on some days this week. The Biden administration and federal agencies have laid out various plans and policies to deal with the influx of migrants and to ensure their rights are respected. Some of these include transitioning from Title 42 to Title 8, which is the pre-pandemic immigration protocol that allows migrants to apply for asylum and undergo a screening process called expedited removal. Those who pass a credible fear interview will be allowed to stay in the country while their cases are processed in immigration court. Those who fail will be deported or returned to their countries of origin. Implementing a new rule that limits asylum for migrants who arrive at the U.S. Mexico border without first applying online or seeking protection in a country they passed through. The rule is intended to discourage illegal crossings and encourage migrants to use legal pathways such as humanitarian visas, refugee resettlement, or family reunification. Deporting or returning migrants who do not qualify for asylum or have criminal records, as well as prosecuting repeat border crossers. The administration has also increased cooperation with Mexico and Central American countries to address the root causes of migration and enhance border security. Releasing some migrants who have been vetted and cleared from Border Patrol holding facilities and tents, which are overcrowded and lack adequate conditions. The administration is working with non-governmental organizations and communities to provide shelter, food, medical care, and legal assistance to migrants who are released. Expanding alternatives to detention programs that allow migrants to live in the community while their cases are pending, such as case management, electronic monitoring, or bond. These programs are cheaper and more humane than detention, and have shown high rates of compliance with immigration court hearings and orders. The challenges and opportunities for migrant rights after Title 42 are complex and evolving. The Biden administration faces pressure from both sides of the political spectrum, from those who want more restrictive immigration policies and border enforcement, and from those who want more humane and compassionate treatment of migrants and asylum seekers. The administration has pledged to uphold its values and obligations as a nation of immigrants and a refuge for the persecuted, while also managing the border effectively and responsibly.